Good evening and welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me this evening is a very good man, Mr. Sean Maloney, and our excellent man is keen to join us most of the time now, Mr. Barry Bannan. Bazza, how are we, mate? I hope you've had a nice weekend. I can see you're still smiling, so that must mean something nice has happened for you at the weekend, buddy.
Aye, good mate. Obviously got our first one at the weekend, so
Brilliant, mate.
long time coming. So the moon obviously still on a high for that yesterday. So smiling faces tonight, mate, and looking forward to getting on with it on here tonight.
Brilliant. And me, Shawnee boy, I take it you've been back into the locker room, nicking some more gear, wee man. Hope you're well, and I see that you've had a wee lover's tough over the Mac free again. That's good to see. But aye, it's good to see you, mate.
I'm still small, mate. I'm not grew yet, so that's me.
What do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Grow up. I'm still trying to think about what I do now, mate. So I mean, I get older. So
you stick in there, son. One day you'll be a nice podcaster like me, mate.
I'll tell you what. I should have stuck and seen what they've got to the other side of the city. Honestly, man. But no, I'm good, mate. Obviously disappointing Celtic wise, but like Baz says, watch your team yesterday, mate. Very good result for them yesterday and some good football. So all in all, for us on here, mate, that's a good weekend overall. I know Celtic drawn, but we didn't lose a game, mate. So I think if you looked at the full fixture list and what we've come out with, I think if you said what we came out with unbeaten, I think you would probably be happy with it. So I'm not too disappointed, mate. But no bad weekend, mate. Hope you're all right yourself.
I'm great, mate. Thanks. I've had a really busy day right enough. I feel as if I've not stopped. I think this is actually the longest I've sat down the whole day if I've opened my eyes this morning. But aye, all good, lads. We'll come to the game in a wee minute or two. A couple of people joining us on the YouTube. I've got Anne Jem. Evening, guys. Evening, Ange. Hope you're well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Same to yourself, Plunge. He says, evening, boys. And he reckons that lovely intro. Need to get that on my Spotify. I think Ryan's got a deals on it now, mate. It's coming up to Christmas, and I think there's good deals on the music now, mate. So I think they're up to, I think they're actually reduced, mate. So it's $27.99 now, as far as I'm led to believe, mate. On the football monitoring board will keep me right as we go, mate. I'll get back to you. But you could be looking at that.
He has it on at the 10:30 show every night.
That's it, mate. Aye, that's it. He's got that wee. He's got that wee
double denim.
That wee pink hoodie he had on a few weeks ago. He wears that normally walking into the room.
Salmon, get it right, it's salmon.
Salmon, aye. that's what you look like after about 11:30.
Aye, what are you talking about? But didn't end up here.
I'll leave that to the viewers' imagination, mate. And Joseph Agnew joining us also. He said, "Hail, hail, boys. Here we go again. Thanks, hail, hail." Thanks, Joseph. Hail, hail, mate. Chris Murray joining us. He said, "Hail, evening, boys. Hail, hail." Good evening, Chris. Hope you're well, buddy. And it's Francis Lester. Hail, hail, boys. He's feeling older tonight, lads. That's because it's our Francis's birthday today. So happy birthday, Francis. I hope you're very well.
Birthday, mate.
I seen your photos on your social media, mate, of your family coming to a wee surprise visit for you. That was nice of them. Me and Ryan will be down tomorrow, mate, to give you your stumps. Don't worry about that, mate. So I don't know about Sean Maloney's doing. I'll ask him if he wants to come as well, mate. We'll see if he can come along with us as well. Baz gets away with it because he's too far away. So no, definitely. Hi lads, as I said, Baz, I'll come to yourself, mate. I'm probably going to. You're probably going to think I'm needing medication shortly, or as Ryan shouts now and again, medication time for the people. But the first part of that wee heading there, mate, Celtic draw blank in the capital. I obviously watched the game, as you lads know, so I'm actually not really annoyed. I don't see how. Look, I'm annoyed because we didn't win, but overall, the way Celtic have walked away no winning before, and I've been raging, and I've been, I think with this one, I've kind of gave them a wee bit of leeway here. And the only reason I have, Baz, is because I'm putting it down to just a small hangover for last Wednesday night, mate. I think they've come off the back of, in my opinion, mate, an elite level performance in terms of the way they ran, and go after Madrid and what they put into that game and the game plan that went into that. So all in all, mate, I thought okay, we won our usual, level of tempo, but I don't think I'm overly annoyed that did it really help? Did it really affect us that much in terms of the league table? No, it didn't. And again, mate, that's testament to their good work because of, we're still got that wee bit of a gap in the league table, and so I think you had that wee cushion there. And let's face it, mate, we've won most of our games in the league now, so we've only dropped points twice now. And I've always says to Ryan, Baz, I reckon you can't get through the full season playing it the way you want to play every single game, especially when you're playing Saturday, Wednesday. Eventually, mate, even regardless of how many changes you make in your squad, against, eventually you will come unstuck now and again. And I think that was just one of the days on Saturday for us, mate.
Aye, well, luckily I got to watch it on Saturday because I had Saturday off, obviously, so I watched the full game. They dominated the game. There was no doubt about it. They were never in any danger of losing the game. If anybody was going to score, it was Celtic. But like we touched on Friday on here, I think it was, I felt before the game, going into the game, that he would have made changes. And I think it was plain to see that we probably could have done with making changes. They put so much into the Wednesday night against, like we touched on, a top team. So they were probably willing in their heads to go and do the job, but their bodies wouldn't let them. And Saturday, I felt just that wee spark wasn't there for certain players. Like, I think Matt O'Reilly looked tired, Kyogo, and probably Dyson Maeda as well. It's mad that he's saying that, but he didn't look his usual self, Palma. So I just felt no major changes, but I just think 2 or 3 changes could have swung the game in our favour. I think when the subs came on is when we upped it a wee bit with Turnbull, Forrest, Mikey Johnson came on. I felt they had an impact. Even Big O, no so much, but I think they lifted the level a wee bit, and we looked as if we were going to score late on. So I'm disappointed with that, but as in the actual overall performance, no, I thought they were good again, kept the ball well, never looked at threat, just never had that last final bit in their box to make Son Hartman get a goal. And I think that falls down to freshness and fatigue. I think they looked quite tired and were just missing that spark. But like you said, they've up until now they've been brilliant. So they've gave themselves that cushion, which you can avoid a wee slip up here and there. And it's likely to come, like you said, after a Champions League game when they've gave everything, and that's when it has come. But no, not at all. I can see where you're coming from. I'm not too angry. I was a wee bit angry on Saturday after the game because I thought we should have made changes, but how many times have we said that? And they've kept it, they've made changes in lost games, and you're saying, why did we change it? So you can't really win really as a manager. But because we spoke before the game when you put the team in saying he's went the same team, and I was quite happy. I was like, oh, we're going for it then. It never worked out that way. But looking back, I would have liked probably 1 or 2 players changed just for a bit of freshness. But all in all, I thought it was a decent enough performance. And if you carry 1 games, you just make sure you don't lose them, especially at one of the toughest places in the league to go.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Ryan, I think that Baz says is spot on there, mate. I think that, let's get it right. When, Celtic dominated the game, at no point in that game on Saturday were we in any trouble. And like I'm saying, these are comments that we're making, mate, in terms of, there's a couple of comments in the comments tonight from people saying, the team might have been fatigued and, they were off it that way. But I think the most important thing is, mate, they certainly weren't off it to the extent that we went there with an Ange Postecoglou team last season who, came right off it and we lost the game 4-2. So when you look at that aspect, mate, things might have, things could have been a wee bit worse. But again, as Baz is spot on there, Ryan, I think, we were still well in the game in that we were in total control, mate.
I don't think we played bad. Like Baz says, you've no lost the game, so I seen a few comments on social media, and a lot of players were getting a lot of backlash and this and that. And like I said in the intro bit, mate, see if you look at what we've done so far this season, we're unbeaten. Yes, we've drew 2, and the first one we drew was at the start of the season when the team was still trying to evolve. We've drew 1 after an amazing European performance.
Mm-hmm.
And Ange went to Bodo Limp, I think, and then get beat the next week. So there's loads of things it happens in football. We can't know these guys on the robots, JP. We've got a man in the podcast here, Baz. He'll tell you his League 1, League 2, Championship. It's relentless at that level to continually do that and do that. You're going to have a draw. You're going to get beat because they're no robots, JP. They are human beings, and they're going to get tired. No matter how much massages and recoveries, you're going to get tired. It's a long season. So
you've had a few, Raymond. You
long face. Your face is long.
Aye, that's maybe after the massage or whatever, mate. If you've not been too happy, right?
Aye. But no, it's
all right, mate. If you're not willing to tell the people, I will. Don't you worry about
it. they can find it at 30:30. They can see what they can see then. But no, I'm like Baz after the game. I was like, I was poor. But when you actually look back at the game, I think it was 1 chance in the first half, I think, and that was about it. They didn't really show any intent to go and attack us. I'm just going to put in a European hangover and freshness. But everyone has said on Friday on here that we'd make some changes, and we didn't. And I was like, right, I was expecting no loads of changes, but at least 1 or 2, just to a bit of freshness. And I think you could tell at the end of the game that they were dying on their feet, because for the tempo we played at on Wednesday to play the same team, I think it's a bit hard on the players as well. But I think the only lasting impression I got of the game was, I think it shows maybe the lack of quality we've got after the bench, JP. I don't know what you think, mate, but it's no the players' fault. That's the players he's put on. That's the players we've got. But we shouldn't be ending the game with Mikey Johnson, Owen Forrest up front to try and win a game of football. Personally, in my opinion, I think we've got to try and get better. I've been talking about getting them game time to show us, but I'm going to put my heart out, mate, my neck on the line, mate. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's going to come in and score his 15 goals a season or whatever and challenge a wee man. I know that's hard, but at least I know it's combating all ground, but at least with Jackie Marcus, he could come in and play it and actually score goals. I don't think we've got that way all.
He got a run of games though, didn't he?
Jackie Marcus did, aye. So I'd say that to JP alone today again, actually. That I think if Folk does it on our games, then we can totally see him. But is he going to get a run of games? I don't think so, because I think he's always going to play Kyogo. So I don't know. I'm probably going to say, JP, I don't think he's going to do it. Again, in 6 weeks' time, he can make me look right at it. So, and I'll happily say, like, well done, big man, you've played me wrong. I'll always go back on it and say, right, fair enough. But at the present moment, I don't feel that he can come in and score you the goals that are going to win your leagues or the goals that's going to cover the wee man, which is going to be hard. But I feel like Celtic, you should always have a second striker that's good enough to come in and, I know, because we had Dembele, you Griffiths, you Edward, you've had Stokes, Hooper, even you had Robbie Keane, even Fortune scored goals at Celtic. He wasn't prolific, but he still came and scored goals. We've always had guys that have been able to back up, and I think this is maybe one of the seasons of the last few years we've not had that. And obviously the season with the 10 that we had Edward, but that was it. Griffiths wasn't fit, Kamara wasn't up to it, so don't know what you feel on that, mate, but I don't know if that's a wee thing that maybe in January, in the summer, that we need to look at, and just to help the team along is maybe a bit more quality off the bench. But overall, as a performance, mate, I want to say I'm downhearted, and I know we're down to 5 points, but I want to say it's a massive slump in anything at all.
Aye, no, definitely. Evening, John. Hope you're well. Hope you had a nice weekend, pal. No, listen, I hear what you're saying in terms of but I think as Baz says as well, it's kind of hard for, in my opinion, lads, people, I mean, each individual can take for this what they will. I think it's quite hard to judge Big Ori now, because he's not really getting a run of games. As Baz says, Giacomakis played, mate, and he had game time when Kyogo was injured. I know the first thought there is people saying, "Oh, if Ho gets, is Ho going to come in right away and play a run of games if Kyogo something happens to Kyogo?" And if I heard people say that if something happens to Kyogo, we're banging trouble. But I think Plunge makes a great point here in terms of the other members of the squad. I mean, you like yourself, Ryan.
He can play up front.
No, well that I know, but like you're saying yourself, Ryan, we shouldn't be finishing the team with the lads. What I would say to that, Ryan, is obviously Brendan Rodgers still sees something in James Forrest and Mikey Johnson over the top of others. So they must be doing something in training.
Well, it tells you about Yang. Yang didn't get a game again.
Well, I mean, again, that's not probably down to Yang's overall ability. That's probably just whereabouts Yang is at the moment in terms of, okay, might be a project, but he's come in and he's got a programme to develop him. I don't think Brendan's the type of man just to write someone off. But what managers tend to do, Ryan, Baz, you know this yourself, mate, managers tend to make up their minds very, very quickly on players, in my opinion. So when they have a look at someone, you're either, yep, he's going to do for me, yep, no problem. And we've seen that with Liam Scales. He was played in a couple of games over in Japan. He was played back here against Wolves, in Ireland against Wolves, and then back here against Atletico Bilbao. And straight away, Brendan identified that it was, this guy's going to be a mainstay just now in the team because of injuries. And Liam Scales has just went like that with his two hands and grabbed the hood of that jersey and says to Narovsky and that, he's all right to wait till I'm no here or I'm out injured or I'm suspended or whatever before he's get back in the team. But I do agree with Plunge here, and he says, we never really created anything on Saturday, like cutthroat, should I say, until both of those guys came on, and Johnson and Forrest. And I do agree with him. I thought James Forrest was very good when he came on in terms of the way he took the ball. But not only that, Ryan, I saw something different in James Forrest in terms of he's looking for that pass. But James Forrest, maybe 6-7 weeks ago, was looking for a pass and just standing still. James Forrest is now looking for a pass and then getting on the end of that pass, or looking for that 1-2 to then make space to drag a player away and take him somewhere else. Mikey Johnson was getting the ball, mate, and regardless of whether he was able to do it or not, he was trying to stand up his man and go by the man. Palma and Maeda, again, due to energy levels potentially.
I thought Palma was poor, to be fair.
Weren't they doing that in the first half? So when they two came on, that's when Celtic's clear-cut chances, in my opinion, on Saturday happened. You look at Forrest, he hit the bar, but again, he hit the ball too sweet and he hit the bar. So, but I get what you're saying, Ryan. I understand where you're coming from, mate. But like I'm saying, I think with Brendan Rodgers, Baz, I think he must see something in still, James Forrest, to, okay, he's getting on a bit. And obviously Mikey Johnson, who's come back off a catalogue of injuries. But I think what doesn't help Celtic on Saturday is you've got the injury early doors to Alistair Johnston, and he has to bring on Anthony Ralston. Now, people were slagging Ralston after the game. The way I see it is Tony Ralston's not kicked a ball for weeks. Again, coming in out the cold and expected to perform at a very tough venue. And, I mean, I think I seen a start yesterday. And Brendan Rodgers is not won there as a Celtic manager. So, for me, that shows, as much as what we think of Brendan, it shows you how tough it is to go to Easter Road, Bus.
Aye, definitely. Touching on the James Forrest thing, I've played with James Forrest, obviously, with Scotland and that, and he was not just only me, you probably asked the majority in that Scotland squad, he was one of the best players in that Scotland squad by a country mile. Like you touched on Saturday, he turned the game, really. Everything that was happening, he was at the end of it, or he was involved in it towards the end. He looked as if he was going to score, and I said in the group chat, I fancy Forrest to nick the winner here. He hits the crossbar.
Yep.
I've played with him. He's a top player. And obviously with Brendan, working with him previously, he was unbelievable under Brendan. But even under Ange, maybe a few games he underperformed James Forrest, but he still scores goals. He always scores for Celtic when given a start. I think there was a start. We were on here actually, and we kind of writ him off a wee bit, and then he had a patch. Remember where he got 5 or 6 goals in a row?
Was it not a hat-trick he got one? Was it
hat-trick against HIBS at Celtic Park?
Or something?
Aye, that was it. We kind of wrote him off then, and he done that, and then he's went away out again, and he's not really had as much game time. But for me, in the last few weeks, seeing him coming off the bench, I thought he's been really lively and looks back to what he was. I seen a time on Saturday. I know what you're on about, big man. I think you're on about the give and go where he passed it and it got played back in. He was on it in a flash and put it across the face of goal.
He also takes two players in that movement, Baz. He takes two rare players and drags the two of them away all out of shop.
But in previous times, maybe through injuries or lack of game time, or just no feeling the love that he's getting from Brendan, maybe he was looking to pass back and do the safe ball. But now under Brendan, he obviously knows Brendan loves him. He can maybe have that bit more freedom. But I've been impressed with James Forrest again recently, and I think if he keeps going, he could possibly find himself playing in that team again, especially with Brendan being a manager. Because, like we said, there's Yang's had a chance, no playing. James is coming on before him, looks as if he's jumped above him in the pecking order. He's probably the next one in at the minute if one of the two get injured. So
I said that to Ryan yesterday on the phone.
It's another thing as well with managers that when you get the trust of a manager, it's massive. Like Brendan trusts James Forrest more than anybody probably in that team apart from McGregor. He knows what he's all about. He knows what you're going to get from him. So I think he'll have a big part to play, and I think we'll probably see more of James Forrest this season than we have for a while. So, but it's definitely a tough venue. Touching on the whole thing, the only reason I popped in there and said, I think it's so hard to judge the big guy because he's what does he get when he plays? 20 minutes, if that, 25 minutes. He's scored goals. He scored some big goals for his last season, but he's not really had a run of games. So I can't turn around and say he's good or he's bad because it's unfair unless somebody's getting 6 or 7, 90 minutes back to back. You can't really have that. You can't really comment. The big man's he's coming on. He's trying his hardest, but he's getting 20 minutes here and there. I don't think that's enough for us to judge him. But like you have said, and I think you're right. Does he come in if Kyogo gets injured? The way it looks at the minute, probably no, because Brendan's tried Daisy Maeda in there in pre-season and he done well. So he's obviously seen things in training that probably he doesn't like or doesn't feel as if he can trust him to start games, because if he was doing well in training, I think he starts at Easter Road. Because Kyogo, I seen a clip of the Atletico Madrid game. Kyogo was hobbling after the game. He looked as if he was injured after that game, so I didn't expect him to start. So going for that and then I'm playing 2-3 days later makes me think that he's not really sure about it and not seen enough of him in training to give him a start. But for me personally, to judge him, I can't, because I've not seen enough of him. I've seen bits that I like, I've seen bits that I don't like, but until he's given a run of games, I don't think I can really... The jury's obviously still out, but I can't say aye or no on the big man because he's not had a fair shot yet for me. But aye, it was obviously a tough place to go. And like I said, I was angry a wee bit after the game, but when you look back at it and actually look at the game, they'd actually done well and performed well. They never looked at threat, and a wee bit of extra freshness would have got us our line probably.
No, definitely. I think we can all agree in terms of the kind of lack of game time. I don't know what we could say about a few players, like especially the two Korean lads, like the boy Yang. I mean, he showed glimpses for me. Looking at him, there's definitely something there. I think it's unfair for us to judge others like Kwon. We've not even seen him. People have got this thing if they come in and they don't play, they're not good enough all of a sudden, and they're professional footballers first and foremost. You know what I mean? They must have something about them, otherwise CELTIC'S scouting network team wouldn't even have been near the two of them. So they've definitely must have something about them. I get not every player will suit the player, the team. And Celtic have always been renowned for that, guys, in terms of bringing people in. And if it doesn't quite work out, then it's a quick turnover and they're moved on and they go elsewhere. It's a bit early for me to say that about the lad Kwon, but Just there, Ryan, Baz was talking, the Football Monitoring Board have reassured me that James Forrest is currently in talks for a new 7-year contract, just as you've wrote him off, mate. So I think that's usually the norm there, mate. Whenever you write somebody off,
I know.
they get a new deal and they're kind of paraded, right? Normally right in your garden or something, I've heard, mate, innit? So I don't know if it's going to be the same with James, but it'll remain to be seen. But I think that's, that's evident, Baz, and I think that's glaring. The last two performances domestically by James, he's come on and made an impact in the game, so much so, mate, that he's worried the opposition. When they've kind of doubling up on him and try to put two guys on him. And I thought on Saturday, mate, just that I love him when he does that. See, when he comes in, I've never actually seen a player do it as comfortable as that repeatedly. And he seems to do that by coming inside and flicking it with the outside his boot. And it's just and then he'll either come on for if somebody like Matt O'Reilly's playing with him, then it's perfect. Because Matt O'Reilly manipulates the ball so well that he's able to cushion and then lay it off, and James can get on the end of that. But at the weekend, Ryan, that's what I saw with James. I saw a new, at least an energy with James. I don't know, like as Baz says, I don't know if maybe Brendan's put his arm on him again and went, hey, wee man, let's see it. I know you can do this. I know you're class. I know. And as Baz says, mate, I think, obviously, it's great hearing that for Baz, Ryan, because, again, mate, I think that gives you a different perspective when there's a guy share the dressing room with him and a training field with him. So sometimes, mate, it's different for us looking from afar and saying, no, I think this guy's that or that. And you've got a guy sitting there saying, no, I know he's top. So I think it's always good to hear that, mate, when someone knows someone like that in a game.
Well, definitely, mate. I've never said he's a bad player. I have always said to come through Celtic's academy and to do what he's done at Celtic, still be at Celtic. He's obviously, ability-wise, he's top. We've seen it. Obviously, I do personally feel at Celtic sometimes he's far to deceive. I think he's got all the ability in the world, but sometimes it's like, going to go, James, go and do it. And like he says, the last few years, personally, I don't think he's done enough, but he's no been getting the game time to prove that to us. And it's the same way, I did say it I did say it Friday. He's not got another games, but I think I'm trying to make a judgment in some capacity because I don't know how long I'm going to sit saying, I need to give him a chance, I need to give him a chance, I need to give him a chance. But I don't know. I think I can see. I know what Baz is saying because he does need to win games, and I have said it myself that you can't really judge somebody that doing what win games. But I'm just any time he's coming on, I'm like, it's like he's trying. Like I did say Friday, he's trying too hard. I think to score goals, to impress. And again, like Baz says, if he was doing something in training, he'd maybe starting games against Madrid. You're trying to win the game to score. He's not getting brought on. James Forrest ends the game kind of up front. So then again, when's he going to get a run of games? Like I think Baz is spot on. I think the game against HIBS was a cracking opportunity. I think the more is a good opportunity at home. Less pressure at home, 60,000 against an informed winning team. But it's the fact it's at home. Sorry, Wednesday. Sorry, no, tomorrow, Wednesday.
That's what I was going to say. I hope he doesn't turn up tomorrow, mate. He'll be really keen.
It's a good opportunity.
He might actually be burnt out by the time Wednesday comes, mate, and he might need to go on the bench again.
He might go to Wednesday and go, be man, if you run out, that's you.
Might get it tomorrow.
He might get it tomorrow. He's self at Celtic Park, can't get it.
Oh man!
No, I do feel that he's got to get more game time, but I just feel for me, I don't think he's going to be a good enough striker to come in and challenge Kyogo, which we all know is going to be hard. But the reason I'm talking about obviously Mikey Johnson, Forrest, and it's not because they're bad players. I'm talking in the sense of the recruitment. If we're having to put guys who are already been in the team for a while now, and let's be fair, Mikey Johnson's not hit the heights yet. O's no hit the heights yet. Forrest is bringing out. So what does that, like I said, what does it say about Yang and guys like that who are no coming on and get a game now to go and change the game? That's why, I mean, to end the game with guys who you've no signed. Well, I know but Brendan has signed him. So it's that sort of thing. You're hoping the guys who you've signed can come off the bench and help you. For me, I think we're lacking a bit of quality off the bench. I think that's evident. I don't think I'm making a wild statement there, JP. I do think that's evident that we're missing a bit of, I know Forrest gave a bit of energy in Johnson, but I think I think we're lacking a bit of creativity in certain aspects of the game. Bernardo, I know he can play as a 10, but I think, again, he's just starting to build up now. But I like him. I think he's tidy.
Physicality, innit?
Aye, obviously Holmes back now, hopefully for Wednesday. I like him as well. Awata, I don't know about him yet. Again, he's got to go to win a game. So there's certain players that need to win a games, but I don't know what you feel, Baz, but when are these guys going to get win a games? Because there's so many that need games, and you're trying to go for trophies and you're trying to qualify for Europe. When do you fit them all in? Is it maybe one or two guys every certain games to get them game time? Or so I think this is back to maybe possibly a reserve league to give these guys competitive action, because some of these guys are only playing football, and like you said, JP, Ralston, he's a able first team player. But if you're not playing for 4, 5, 6 weeks and then into a game where the tempo's already high, of course you might struggle. So I don't know how you feel about that, Baz, but when do you think these guys are going to get a game? Is it a game against St Mirren, or do you need to put 2 or 3 in at a time? Because when do you put them in?
Maybe when they turn up at Parkhead a day early for that.
I know. Aye.
All right, Gaffer, I brought my high-vis with me in case we need to train before this.
I'll just say the ground staff for now. Why would you wait?
Big O's gone in there, one on the... Am I doing a team talk? What's happening here?
Oh, man. No, I get... The thing about Big O as well is, see, when... I don't know what you think about this, but when I've been watching him and he has been coming on, the games have been finished. So, coming on when we're 2 and 3 nothing up, and we're keeping the ball and he's making runs and we're just keeping the ball. I've seen him loads of times where I'm thinking, if they play the ball across the face of goal, you're a big man's in, but they come back out and they'll keep the ball and retain possession. So he's coming on when the game's dead, basically. There's been 3 or 4 subs put on by each team. The tempo's gone. That's how it looks, probably as if he's trying too hard, because realistically he's thinking, I've got 20 minutes here, I need to try and score or do something, but he's probably forcing it because the boys are not running in behind for him, or the boys are not putting the ball in for him. So he looks as if he's probably trying too hard then. But the game's relatively done by the time the big man comes on at the minute, which is kind of unfair on him as well. But I just think going for you when you're asking about when are they actually going to get the game time, I think it's a trust issue for Brendan. He obviously watches training day in, day out. And does he trust them? Probably at this minute in time, no, because you wouldn't play the same team at Easter Road the other day if you trusted these people to come in and do a job. There's no way you would play the same team if you had fully trust in that bench to start games. So I don't think you can get it for reserve games. I know what you're saying with that, like minutes, but it's not the same. It's different tempo. It's completely different. It needs to be playing for the Celtic first team in front of 60,000 at Parkhead probably. And a game like the Mora, which hopefully there is changes, but like I said, that'll be down to Brendan and what he believes and what he's seeing in training. We don't know. But it's hard. I know what you're saying about you're knocking these players that are coming on. It's just, and I totally agree, because our first 3 subs last season coming on the park were Aaron Moy, Leila Bada and Haksabanovic. That was your normal 3 subs that you were bringing off the bench last season. Or it was O'Reilly coming off the bench for Aaron Moy, or Maeda was coming off the bench. Look, now we've got Johnson, Forrest, Turnbull. You're not knocking these guys, but the difference in quality is there for all to see. We spoke about it loads of times on here last season that we were calling them finishers because they probably had a case to be starting games, but they were coming on and finishing the games if the games weren't already finished.
Yep.
Whereas this season, at this minute in time, have we really had people come off the bench and won games for us? Probably no. The games have been won before then, or it's just stayed the way it is. So I think you're right in a sense where you probably have got to look at the recruitment, because last season the bench was really, really strong, and some of them should have been playing in the starting 11 really. This season, probably no. The team picks itself at the minute when everybody's fit, apart from 1 or 2 positions. So there might be some signings still, like that Brendan's, like you said, it might be a project with Jan, he might be training him. Telio could be the same. The boy home, he's been injured, obviously, but these could be on their own programmes and waiting for the right time to unleash them.
That's quite a good question there, Baz, for Anne James.
Good question,
Sorry.
James. Barry, what does O or any other player need to do in training to impress Brendan Rodgers that warrants getting a full game? I've got a good answer for that, and you could just turn up a day earlier at the likes of Paradise and chat the door and stick your training gear on and away you go, and hopefully by then you're ready for a quarter-to-8 kick-off on Wednesday night against St Mirren. But Baz might have a different answer for you, Angie.
You need to obviously try and be the best in training every day. Get noticed. You've got to be at it. He's probably not. I don't know. You probably need to knock on the door as well, but it's hard because you've got one of the most informed strikers in Britain at the minute playing in front of you, who doesn't stop running, doesn't seem to be getting injured, touch wood, at the minute. And when that happens, you've got to wait for him to come off the boil or get injured, as bad as it sounds. Sometimes you just got to wait, and that boy that's in front of you, if he gets injured, then that's your chance. But it's hard for him because no matter what he does in training right now, I don't think he'll get him in the team because of who's ahead of him. He's Celtic's main player by a long way. So first name in the team sheet probably as well. So no matter what the big man does in training at the minute, you're not going to jump ahead of him. You might get the odd game here or there, but to get a run of games is going to be a tough ask. And I feel sorry for the big man because, like I said, I can't judge him, but I don't think I will get a chance to judge him whilst Kyogo's still at Celtic.
Do you think JPS, like Baz says, I've seen a few comments on Twitter and other social media platforms. Do you think the way that he's making these subs, again, I don't think it is, but do you think that, actually, my old man said it as well, do you think some of the subs he's making, again, I don't know if it just looks like to fans or they're just trying to make an assumption, do you think that's him saying to the board, listen, I've got nothing, I need help here, I've nothing on the bench to change games, or do you think people are just looking too far ahead because they've drew a game and they've not won a game?
No, but you know my thoughts on that, Ryan. I think a lot of fans are set in their ways, mate, and lots of fans have got their own scapegoats of who they pick and choose for and the actual team. I think that'll be the way it is, mate. I think that's the way it is, and how it's going to pan out the rest of life. I really do. I think Brendan, a lot of the games, mate, I watch Brendan on the touchline. I watch the way he does things. I watch the way he speaks to John Kennedy and his coaches. Sometimes he speaks to Harry Kewell, and against Atletico Madrid, mate, he was speaking to Gavin Strachan. Now, I don't know if Gavin Strachan's role's changed at Celtic, and if it has, then great, because
I don't know if you've seen Matt O'Reilly talk about him. Matt O'Reilly says he's been working with him quite a lot about.
Says he's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I think he does a lot of the set pieces and the set plays and the way they do it. He also takes the defenders before the game in the warm up as well, and gets them sort of the back four, or if it's a back three or whatever the way Brendan's going to play, he takes that. But I think some of Brendan's, or quite a few of Brendan's signings, are tactically related. I think he does it when he thinks a certain individual is going to be able to impact the game. You look at the subs he made at Ibrox, Ryan. They were perfect, mate. They brought him on at a stage in the game where he knew, you know, we're going to be able to see this out with keeping the ball. And as Baz says, even when he brought Ralston on and when he brought like Yang on, we finished that game at Ibrox with a back four of Tony Ralston, Lager Bielka, Liam Scales and Alejandro Bernabe. And we
quite comfortable.
No, that's what I'm saying, mate. We were never under major trouble at all once. So, as Baz was saying, I think me and Baz were saying on the chat as well, the way Ralston and Yang at times of that game were playing together and, you know, playing in tight space. They played out like Man City, Ryan, in wee pockets and in and out of space. And I don't know, as Baz says, he could have Yang on a programme, and so I've noticed the last couple of games Yang has participated in. Certainly his defensive work's got a bit better in terms of his running when he's not got the ball to chase back and, be a nuisance when the ball's turning over and everything else. I've noticed that in him. I've also noticed his running energy has changed, and that he doesn't chuck it when he's not got the ball. Or, I think Brendan's wanting them all, even when they're no with the ball. They're always active. They're always in play. They're always ready, so that they're ready for either a mistake or something to pounce on, or And again, it's merely the way Celtic play. I mean, but I do think I don't think Brendan's not the type of man, mate, to try and use someone as make an example of someone and subconsciously to say, like, I need better than him, or I need, the guys that Brendan's playing. I don't firmly believe Brendan would play someone if he didn't think he was good enough overall. That's the way I think.
They've all had game time, every one of them,
Yeah.
apart from maybe one or two, but he's played all of them. They've all
Yeah,
played for
that's it. That's it. The big lad Quan, I think it's rather unfair. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't. Again, mate, it could be just as simple as the language.
Could be family.
Could be that as well. Yeah, could be the fact that he's came from across the world and he's came to a new place. I don't want to sit here and make excuses for the lad. I'm not going to write the guy off and say it's merely down to his footballing ability as to why he's not playing. You look at the lad Tillio, he's not kicked a ball either.
He was back training there. I seen that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, people have wrote this guy off, Ryan. I've seen comments on social media and they're saying this guy's no there or he's no up to it, and the amount of nonsense that gets spouted on social media.
It's impossible.
What are they basing that on, though?
That's what I'm saying. It's impossible to say somebody's not good
mental.
enough.
It's absolutely mental. Brendan doesn't strike me as the type of manager. Brendan doesn't strike me as the type of manager to play a player if he didn't think he was going to be able to help his side. See, we play for a club like Celtic, lads. We cannot carry passengers. We just can't afford it. Like you says, Ryan, you're constantly going for trophies, mate. You're going for cups. You're going for Europe. You're going for a league. You're going. So it's a quick turnover, and you play a lot of games. See that again, mate?
He's played for Australia, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was at the World Cup. Yeah.
Right. So he's no Australia's actually. I think USA, Australia, they're two teams that are up and coming. Like they're improving. They're definitely getting better. They're getting longer into these. So
I was kind of laughed at by a couple of people when I said we bought the best player in Korea, we bought the best player in Norway, and we bought the best player in Australia.
But this isn't us saying that. This is what everybody was saying.
No, but that's a fact. Every one of them won Player of the Year in their natives before they came here. Yang won Player of the Year in Korea. Tillio won Player of the Year in Australia, and Home won Young Player of the Year. So much so that he was nearly the poster boy for the Golden Boy.
Was it Tap 50 or 100 or something?
Aye. So this isn't fabrication. This is what happened. Now I understand you go to clubs and everything else. I've seen enough of Home to tell you right now that the lad is a belter. But as you've said the same, you've had a chat about us. I know that boy can play. I've got no qualms with Home at all. Whatever's happened to him over the last few whiles, it's some sort of personal reason as to why he's not on the team. It's nothing to do with him being a footballer. People are saying, his naivety shows against Feyenoord, they got sent off.
70. I think he's played over 70 games in the Norwegian Premier League, and he's only 19, 20. So he can't be that bad at it.
So he was a seasoned pro already, even at a very young age before he came. When he did start for us, when he came on at maybe Ibrox, and we're seeing glimpses of him, he showed a lot of maturity in his play, and it was just that one moment where he goes to ground over in Feyenoord, he sees red. Again, people question whether that's a red card, Baz, but I think a lot of fingers get pointed, mate, when certain things are not going the way of the club. But I could see the point of this club weren't winning and weren't successful. Can you imagine what people were saying then? And this is Celtic winning things, and again, I think the manager has maybe looked at the squad and like I says, he's probably made his mind up for the time being with some. And others, as you said, Baz, I think some of them might be put on programmes and whatnot to get them maybe ready. And he'll give them the utmost opportunity to do that. It's then up to that individual to go and get themselves ready to come into that team, mate. But overall, mate, I wouldn't start pointing fingers and saying, this guy isn't good enough, that guy isn't good enough, and just making accusations that you actually don't know what the base it all is.
How many games are we into the season? 10.
There's 28 league games of the season left, aye.
We played 10
in the league.
We're judging some of these signings on what 2 or 3 appearances in the league,
Mm-hmm.
and we're saying if they're good or bad. It's wrong, really, because there always comes to points of the seasons where people peak, and it's different people who are winning you games. So it could be home a few weeks down the line where it's a purple patch. It all changes. You seen it last season. Moy was winning his games when he came in. Kyogo, Maeda, Hatate. People have purple patches. We're judging these players, and we've played 10 games in the season. Yang and that probably haven't even played 4 or 5 starts in the league this season.
Yeah.
And we're meeting the young boy off. Kwon, I've seen people come to my club and sign needing visas for their family. Their family's still aren't here yet. There's loads of things that are going on in the background that could be holding these players back at the minute. And they might be doing well in training, but Brendan might be thinking, knowing Brendan, I can't play him because I know his head's not fully with it at the minute. When his family comes out and he settles down a bit, then I might use him. That could be something as well that Brendan's using as well. The player's saying he's all right, but Brendan knows deep down the guy's family, his kids are back home, stuff like that. It could be anything really, but we're quick to judge, but we don't actually know and don't know what's going on in the background. Do you know what I mean? There's more to football than the players in the training pitch and there's things that are going on in their personal lives that could be stopping these boys from performing. Or, like you said, one of the biggest ones that jumps out at you is probably the language for a start. That could be the biggest thing for him. That he might be getting English lessons every day until his English gets better, because the position he plays as well, because he's sitting in front of the back four and he's patrolling, he probably needs his English more than your Kyogos and your Hatates, because Kyogo will just run and then it's up to them to find Kyogo's runs, whereas he's patrolling, he needs to use his voice, he's kind of maybe a leader, the big man, and needs to marshal everything that's going on around about him. If his English is no great, that's probably a large percent of his game that he needs, that he can't do because he can't speak the language.
Ryan, I think that's amazing, like, for coming from Baz, because I think a lot of football fans, mate, just look at somebody and it's either black and white. You're either, he's not playing, he's not good enough, or he's playing and right, he's a belter or whatever it may be. But when you look at things like that, we spoke before, Ryan, and even a player's performance on the day, mate, he could have had a fight with his missus an hour before boarding the bus, or maybe his weight's no well, or that's in his head, or his granny took a bins out and slipped in a big sheet of ice and she's hurted her elbow. And I know you're laughing, mate, but it can be quickly something just as, you know.
I thought you were going to say about taking the bins out, that's why I started laughing.
You behave yourself, it's a family show, son. This is, we're not even at half nine yet, man, and you're starting. Sorry about him. Sorry about his conduct, folks. But no, as I said, it can be just as something as silly as that, and that's, you know, it just throws a whole footballer's day in mind. It's been a footballer, mate, especially at the top level, like Celtic. You know, Baz has played internationally, top level games. You need to have 100% focus on the job in hand, because if something goes wrong, how can you go and just turn a blind eye to that, mate, and just go and start kicking the ball? Because I go and play fives, mate. If something's not right with my veins, or my heat's all over the place, and you go to get a ball and the boys are all moaning at you and going, what are you doing? He's away with it. So can you imagine what it's like with like professionals?
Aye, well, I think obviously speaking to Baz, mate, it's guys like Baz have played the game and we've been lucky on here. I would say it's a privilege, mate, to speak to some guys like that who have played football. And there's one guy I spoke to a long time ago. It was Sam Wardrobe, and he played with Celtic when he was younger. And he was talking about his injury and how he was to play at United, then he got a game, and he was to get a game with Celtic and stuff. And he was managed. I'm sure it was at the 10 season I spoke to him. And he was talking about like Shane Duffy. He says how his dad's not doing well. His dad passed away. He's came to Celtic maybe at the wrong time. He's no really, and he says, like you says, he did say, he says, you can have an argument with your missus in the morning. He went, but fans don't understand that. Fans don't understand that. Fans think you're not playing well, you're not good enough. But it could be something that happens that morning or something that's happened that week. And I'm a firm believer. It doesn't matter if it's amateur, junior, professional, whatever. If you've had a bad week in training, I'd like to think Baz is probably the best guy to answer this, but if you've had a bad week at training, sometimes you start on Saturday going, I don't feel good today. I've not prepared all week for this. I've not been on it all week. I hope I turn up today. And for me, when I played, I know I didn't play at Baz's level, but when I played, if I didn't train well all week, I've not done well. I've not prepped all week. So if I've ate some rolls all week, I've not prepared well for Saturday. I've not ate well all week. I've not done what I should be doing to prepare. And I think if you don't prepare all week properly, you're going to a game, you're thinking, right, am I going to win it today? And I think it's a big thing, JP. I think what you've said and what Baz says spot on. I think you've got to have your mind's got to be on it for Monday. As soon as you recover on the Sunday or Saturday, whenever you play, and right to the game. I think that's why a football player is full time, JP. You're on it. You've got to be on it all the time. Even when you're off, you're probably doing recovery sessions, you're probably getting massages, you're probably doing stretches. You're always doing something that's benefiting the next day in training or the next weekend of the game. So I think sometimes I probably before I done this podcast, I was a bit of a rant and raver. He's no good enough. But see, when you speak to guys, you take a step back and you actually think, right, okay, you've got to be rational sometimes when you say things. But I think it's only boy Kwon and guy like Terrell, nobody can really, in my opinion, you can't really judge these guys. Kwon's had one game, I thought, one against Wolves, I thought he'd done really well. I was actually tipping him to be the next best thing. I thought he was brilliant. Some of his touches and what he was doing. Then I think his debut at Celtic Park against Bilbao, I think it's just one he wants. He was debut, he was nervous, he was just trying too hard, and he's not really been seen since. So maybe the manager's thought, right, he's not up to it yet. There's a programme, there's all this behind the scenes. Do that first, and then we'll build you gradually. So, and the boy Tilly, I've seen people on social media going, he's not good enough, he's not this, he's obviously not playing yet, he's not good enough. I'm like, did you know, listen to what the manager's telling you? He was injured. He's training behind the scenes. He's basically in pre-season behind the scenes, and now he's back training. I guarantee you, he might play one game, 10 minutes, score a goal, and then you'll see fans going, "Oh, was this guy be a belter?" Stop lying, because you've been slaughtering him for the last 4 months on social media. But is that something that is true, Baz? Obviously, you've been yourself, mate. So, do you feel if you're not trained all week well, do you go into a game thinking, right, I need to be on it today because I'm not trained well, or is it a big thing, or am I overthinking it?
No, it is, because it's all about small gains and football's small margins. So with me, I've got I'll have certain things in game match day that I need to go the same every single match day. It's weird. So if I feel fresh going into a game, it starts to set doubt in my head. I'd rather go into a game feeling tired, because it switches me on more. So I tend to have less sleep the night before a game than more sleep. So I like getting into the game feeling a bit no knackered. So 8 hours instead of 10 hours, something like that. If I can get that, because I feel as if I have 10 hours, I'm more relaxed. Whereas if I don't have enough sleep, it makes me more concentrated, because I think, oh, I need to be switched on here because I've not had a great sleep last night. But training wise, it's self-doubt, because if I've not trained well going into the game on the Saturday, it'll set, I always go back and I visualise training from the day before, and lying in bed the night, I'll visualise the game that I played on Sunday, just what I could have done better, what I could have done, just watch the game through again in my head. Night before games, I'll try and play the game through in my head. So certain positions that I'll be in that I'm normally in a football game, I'll play it through what I'm going to do and try to be positive. So if you don't train well all week, you're a human being. You'll go into that game where even if you're not thinking out loud, but it'll be in there somewhere that like we see the doubt, and it's all about small margins in football because, like you have touched on loads of times, we're all good players. Like we wouldn't be professional footballers. It's small margins and little things like mindset's massive.
I know. Honestly, people don't realise it can be quite. It's quite simple, and sometimes in football, simple things can be hard at times for footballers. Even to play football simply can be very hard sometimes, depending on who it is you've got round about you. But I know you're talking about lying in bed, thinking about what you done on Sunday, or how your game panned out there. That's how Big Alan's no ways a night. He's lying in bed wondering why he says about Alan McCoy scoring goals for Celtic a couple of weeks ago. Ryan does that often, and he lies in bed and wonders why he just came on the podcast all of a sudden, and why he ever thought that Celtic were playing on a Tuesday night instead of Wednesday night. But he also talks about how he was before. He also talks about how he was before he done the podcast. He was a ranter and raver. That's how I took a wee man under my wing, boys, because I seen the potential in him to just calm things down and take it on his stride. But no, as I said,
Andy Gray.
Andy Gray with Sean Maloney's jersey on.
About 2 stone later.
Andy Gray with a hair transplant.
Andy gave us.
Aye,
Andy Gray.
Andy.
But
no, obviously, just as you said, guys, it's small, simple things that can make all the difference in these sort of changes of how you perform, how you don't perform. I just thought about obviously performance-wise, Baz, I'll come back to you. You're talking about Hatate. The day obviously Brendan's touched on his injury, he's not gave it. I think he's been clever there, I know, because I don't think he's wanted to give too much away in terms of full extent of his injury, because we've had quick healers so far this season, touch any wood. But you look at Narowski, he's back quicker than anticipated. Stephen Welsh is back on the grass running with the team now. So again, he's back before time as well. So I think you look at Hatate. Now I knew the other night he'd done something really wrong when I says to the guy who was sitting beside me, Guy Mark, he sits beside me quite a lot. And he's been there for, I've had my season ticket now. He's there normally with his dad, and his dad was there the other night as well, and I said to the two of them, that's a badging. And they never seen Hatate's, the reaction to the challenge. But when he went to tackle Griezmann, and I seen it in live play, because it was literally there, right in front of me, more or less across from me. And I went, oh, that's a badging. And they're like, what was a badging? And I went, do you know, see what happened to Hatate? He just couldn't do anything else after it. Is he going to be a big miss for us? The reason I say this is because I know he's absolute quality, right? In terms of the Champions League, he probably will be because of what he gives us in that sort of where he plays. But especially domestically, you look at the one when we lost Kyogo with the hammy, and Ange was using like makeshift forwards. I mean, he's putting a Bada through there, and he was putting, he was moving it about. I think you touched on it, Baz, yourself in the chat. We've got goals coming from everywhere. So we're not just solely, I mean, back in the days when it was Lee Griffiths scoring 40 goals a season, Larson scoring 53 goals himself, Chris Commons scoring 40 goals. It's kind of, we've kind of surpassed that now, Buzz, in my opinion, mate. And it's more of a team game. You even hear Brendan being interviewed and people try to bum up like Kyogo, and Brendan kind of, he's a good player, but, there's other guys there, and, what make him that good player. So don't be quick to forget these guys. So, Baz, what I'm saying is I know he'll be a miss overall, mate, do you think we'll find a way to cope? I think is a better phrase is what I'm trying to get to.
I do. I've touched on it this season, actually. I think that's a position where we're quite strong with Home, Bernardo. I like David Turnbull.
Yeah.
Talking about domestically, I think we'll cope with it quite well. But what I will say is he was out for the Hibs game with dropped points. Could he have been the difference? Probably, aye, because he can win games himself. So he could be the difference in tight games like that from a point or 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
But over the duration of the season, I think we'll be all right at the minute in time domestically with Home and Bernardo. I like what I see for both of them. I think Home's going to be top level. I think he'd be brilliant. I've seen a couple of games now, and it just the wee things from playing the game myself. I recognise that he's a wonderful footballer. I think he's got everything. He can put the foot in as well when need to be, and just his balance and awareness and things like that. So I think he'll be. I'm happy that he's back, because I was worried when Hatate was injured and I'm seeing Home on the bench either. That's when I started to get worried, because I'm thinking, oh, maybe that. But if Home's back, I think we'll be all right. I think he's got more than enough to cover for him. But obviously I want Hatate back, because in the tight games, he can be the difference maker. And I'm not saying we would have won the game on Saturday if he was fit, but there's a better chance of winning the game if he's playing at Easter Road than not being in the squad. I think he seems to be one of the players as well that it doesn't matter how many games he plays in a week. It's the same Reo Hatate when he's on form. It'll turn up every single game in that week. And he would have been one that would have turned up on Saturday and have been buzzing about, and you would have think he's played Atletico Madrid doesn't he look like it? He's one of the players, because he's just boundless, endless energy. So, you know what I think of him, and I would say you're right. I think we've got enough to cope domestically, but he will be a massive miss in these big games in the Champions League coming up. I really like the boy Home, and I like Bernardo. I've not seen enough of Bernardo. I think he's good, but I've not seen enough to comment. But for what I've seen of Home, I think he's an able replacement. But we will miss Reo Hatate and the Old Firm in the Champions League games.
Ryan, a massive shout for Baz there. He's given us at Home top class. I've seen it in him. I think he's able. I think Baz was the one that threw my head a while back, a few months ago, and he was saying about Home and being very, very similar to Hatate. I love those type of players that get close control with the ball, can eliminate people just with your body movement without even having to do much with the ball. Home's got that, but he can also leave people for dead with the ball as well, mate. Do you see that with the same as Baz, or have you got someone else in mind that you want to see come in? Hopefully Wednesday nights today, Tuesday night.
No, I like Home, mate. I really do. I think I'm going to make that a free. I definitely think he's tidy. He's good in the ball. He's got a bit of dig about him, which I think we're missing in midfield. O'Reilly, I don't think that's his game. He's a more technical, creative player. McGregor's, he does it now and again, but Hatate's got a wee bit of dig about him. But I think Holmes maybe somebody that's going to give you a bit of dig, but he's got the technical side as well. And I think when you've got that in a player, I think you've got a very good gem there. Because some players can only maybe do one better than the other, but he seems to be, he can do both. Again, Awata could be having a shout for game time, but again, he's another one for me. Just yet, I don't know, because he's not had a lot of game time. I did say, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did say, I don't think he's good enough, but then but I can't say that fully because he's not had enough game time. Against Hearts, he done well. I'm like, maybe he's got something here. Maybe I can't judge him fully yet. And I don't think you can't judge anybody really fully. So, but no, I like him. Again, Bernardo, again, he's came to Benfica. They've got always top academy players. The thing that's sprung me that he's going to be a very good player for us is the fact that he brought him on against Madrid. He was the first sub. As soon as Hatate, right on you go, you're on. So that for me tells me that he's starting to build up now to be a first team player.
Is that the way you said it to him? I never heard him, mate.
He's like that. He's come. You come. He's like, blow the whistle. You come. No, but he actually went to warm up. He's like, no, whistle. He's like, hurry up, get on. So again, like Baz says, I rate Tumbo as well. But I think the way we're trying to play, I personally don't feel he'll get a new deal if it keeps going like this, because I did say 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I think he's got to play. I think if he wasn't playing much to January, then I don't think he would get a deal. But if he was continuing to play, I think January he would need to have a look at it and go, right, he's played a lot of games. I think he's due a new deal.
Breaking news, JP 4-year deal for David Turnbull.
I know. Breaking news, Sky Sports News, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Jim White's back on the special one with Jim White's back on with Yellow Tide, isn't it?
Oh, by the way, see any time Celtic play, Jim White can't stand it, by the way. Anything about Celtic good, he can't stand it. But no, I think Turnbull's good, but I think I do think he's maybe come to the end of his Celtic career. I don't think he's going to get a new deal, even though I like him.
5-year deal I'm on it on board, they're telling me now, mate. 5-year deal, it's no 4.
But again, I like him, JP, but I just think the way we're going now, I don't think he's going to get enough game time to try and show himself to get a new deal. Yeah. I could be wrong, mate, but I agree with Baz on home. I like him, mate. Again, he wasn't playing in the Premier League in Norway the period of time he did. At that age he was, if he wasn't good. Because I know that league it's not a massively great league, but they've got a lot of young talent in that league, and they seem to go to top teams. You've seen Bodo Glimt, Copenhagen in the past. They've all went to Copenhagen, is that right? Norway. So they've all went to top teams. So
That's Denmark,
innit?
You're having a nightmare of night, man.
But Bodo Glimt, Molde, and that's Molde, innit? They're Norwegian, innit? Aye, so
we need to get you the yellow bib, mate.
Aye, so but they teams all tend to have young players and they branch them out to top teams, and for me, Celtic's a top team for doing that. So I think the home again, I think he'll be good, mate. And the answer to the question is, I think we'll cope in Scotland. But I'm going to agree with Baz as well. I don't think the European level, I think you're missing somebody like Hatate, especially in away to Madrid. I think that's a tougher game now without him. As much as we're saying, he's good and I want him to come in, and I think that's a big miss in midfield, especially trying to get a goal away from home. But domestically, yes, but in the European game, then the last 3 games, I think it's a wee bit of a disadvantage.
I can see what you're thinking in terms of Hatate.
And also, I'm away to Google the Scandinavian site, because I think I've done myself a kipper there, man.
You've done yourself a big Alan there. He's away. Big man's not get out of that, man. He's away looking for YouTube videos of Alan McCoy scoring goals for Celtic in the Scottish Cup.
He'll find it hard. I don't know where he'll find that for.
He's found it that hard. He's not here.
He's found the fancy team in Chat Manager and downloaded them.
Big man's away looking for videos. Oh my goodness.
Had that well, man.
I think he'll be looking for a different type of video he's found by now, right enough for the time of night. But hey ho. Fair play to the big man. I'll give him that for trying. But you've had a mellow night, I know, man.
It's a Monday, mate.
What part of Scandinavia are you from, pal? Copenhagen? It's dead cold Norway, innit? It's dead cold there.
Eastern Mombasa.
The monkey came out of bushes and stole my aerial.
Big Morton Vikos, Norway,
Big Morton Vikos,
Big Morton Vikos, captain of Norway. Brilliant, man.
Where'd you stay in Spain, pal? Springburn?
Part of Copenhagen, you fee. Easterhouse.
It's cold up there, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant, man. Deadly, man. Early new season, some part of Norway, isn't he? Nice. You're up front with that Copenhagen, man. Where are they in the Norwegian League? Hold on, I'll check. They're not even anywhere near that. They're in Europe, you know.
Oh, man.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Never a dull moment on here, innit? No, it's, see if you're having a bad day or a bad week, man, you just come on here, don't you, and cheer yourself right up, man. Brilliant. Superb. But, no, lads, it's been a really, really good chat again tonight. It's always a pleasure coming on and obviously having a chat with you and getting your insights about parts of Europe that you didn't know over there and stuff like that. And didn't know, obviously, Celtic playing on Tuesday this week. If anybody was really wanting to know the actual fixture, it's on the running bar across the screen for you now. Celtic actually playing Wednesday, no Tuesday. Unless Ryan's organised a charity game and Big O's getting a game, I don't know.
He's still got pays fiver though towards the charity.
I think he's invited. I think he's invited Owen Yang and a couple of other boys, aren't they? Just to give him game time.
Aye.
Celtic Finishers v Unrestricted podcast.
Aye. We're going to host it in Norway. What part of Norway? We're going to use Copenhagen Stadium. Oh man, every day's a school day. Big Alan's going to bring a video for half time. It's going to be Alan McCoy's playing for Celtic in the Scottish Cup. Absolutely deadly, man. Can't wait.
Oh man, brilliant. I'm about to get the bleach, man. I've done much of a kipper on it, man.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Honestly, brilliant. Bleach and a packet of salt and vinegar, man. That'll do you proudly on a Monday night, man. But Bazza, no, seriously, mate, coming back on again after yesterday's efforts, mate, and I did get a chance. I did get the privilege of watching you, mate. I thought you were absolutely brilliant. And you can see what this manager's trying to do for you, mate. So long may it continue. I did tell you, mate, and I've been telling you now for a couple of weeks, mate. 1-1, I think will set you on your way, mate, because he's been really close. And again, mate, amazing. A big well done to you yesterday.
Yep.
It was good to see the crowd really behind you again as well. You know, and he's gone for it. And it was good to see he's putting in that performance, mate, because I think that's been long overdue for you, and especially the last couple of weeks. I watched the Leeds game, I know, mate, and I thought you deserved to walk away from more than you did with that as well. So, aye, big well done, mate.
Thanks very much. Brilliant to be back on again. When's the next one? Wednesday, Friday?
Well, the boys are on tomorrow, so we're back on tomorrow.
Friday night,
Friday night for myself.
I'll do the Friday night after the game on Tuesday night.
Aye, we'll talk about the game on Tuesday. And we'll talk about the beanbag for Norway and the Copenhagen game for the weekend.
We're talking about Big O getting a hat against the Monk.
Passing for Stockholm in Norway.
And we'll take a look back. We'll do a wee quiz for the Celtic's greatest ever strikers, and we'll start as up with Ali McCoy's. That'll be a big Alan, a good shout there.
Oh man,
can't believe it, man. Honest to God, that's as bad as Jimmy Bell putting Kmart Roffey on the back of your cap.
Oh, brilliant, man.
Oh, superb, man.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment, lads. But listen, it's been a pleasure. Everybody else that's joined in with us as well, thank you very much for your comments. I've done my best to try and put most or the majority of your comments up. So, again, thanks for that, guys. Thanks for taking part. Ouija Boy, thank you very much for the like and subscribe, mate. Do appreciate it. Thanks very much for the wee mention as well, mate. Again. Cheers, Francis. Hope you've had a good day, mate, for your birthday. And everybody else, again, as I said, I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I can't speak to you directly. But I'm away to get myself a wee kit for us game tomorrow night. So, I'm about to
check the best Norwegian strikers.
Wee man's giving some early team news there, Baz, and Big O's definitely getting a game, mate. He'll be there. He's got his club trackie on and everything. And wee Holmes bringing his Norway flag with his tattoo of Copenhagen along his sleeve. His shirt.
Oh, man.
Brilliant, man. Honest to God. Just before we go, folks, just to let you know, this podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment. The AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. And it's a DJ company, folks. So if anyone's looking for any parties or entertainment coming up for Christmas, any functions at all, you know anyone's birthday, special birthdays coming up, please don't hesitate to give the man a call. That's his number there in the middle of your screen. For anyone who can't see the number, it's 07845 746 092. And that's obviously the best number to get him on. And he's connected with WhatsApp on that as well. He is on Facebook and Instagram as well, if anybody's interested. Also, guys, before we go, and before we let you all go, Celtic Unrestricted Views got some merch for sale. So we've got these mugs. And we've got these key rings also. If anyone wants to get their hands on them, you can drop us a wee message. The mugs are priced at £5. And the key rings are priced at £1.50. So, as I said, anyone want to get their hands on them, you can message us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. Or you can send us a wee message on the community section of the YouTube channel. All you've got to do is click on the wee icon and it will take you into the channel. And you can drop us a wee message here from the last update, folks. Again, folks, been a pleasure. As I said, the boys are on tomorrow. Ryan and Big Paddy McCourt will be back. Looking forward to it. And hopefully by this point, he'll have a wee DVD collection for you between Larson and McCoys to see who the best striker was for Celtic. Ryan's going to come back with a geography globe to let you actually see exactly where Copenhagen sits in the middle of Norway. But hey ho, guys, I'm away to think about what you've just said and take on board what you've just said and have a lie down in a dark room, boys. So, as I said, it's been a pleasure. Hail, hail, guys, and we will see you at 11:30 tomorrow.
Cheers, Baz. Cheers, mate.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers, Baz. All the best, mate.